The Bond: How Trump and Netanyahu Redefined the Middle East. In the world of geopolitics, alliances are common, but once in a generation, a partnership emerges that transcends diplomacy. A relationship so in sync, it fundamentally alters the course of history. This is the story of one such alliance, between a real estate tycoon who became the most powerful man in the world, Donald J. Trump, and Israel's longest-serving prime minister, a political survivor known as Bibi, Benjamin Netanyahu. Their bond was more than political. It was personal, and it unleashed a series of seismic events that reshaped the modern Middle East, for better and for worse. How did this unlikely duo forge such a powerful connection? And what is the true legacy of their time in power? Part 1. A shared worldview. To understand their alliance, you have to understand their shared mindset. Both men saw themselves as outsiders, fighting against a hostile establishment. Both were fierce nationalists who believed in projecting strength. Netanyahu had known the Trump family for years, even before Donald Trump considered a run for president. They shared a common language, not of diplomacy, but of deals, of winning. When Trump won the presidency in 2016, Netanyahu saw a historic opportunity. After 8 tense years with the Obama administration, he finally had a true friend in the White House. Part 2. The Policy Revolution. The friendship quickly translated into policy, and the changes came fast. First, the bombshell announcement. Today, we finally acknowledge the obvious, that Jerusalem is Israel's capital. This is nothing more or less than a recognition of reality. For decades, American presidents had refused to officially recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital, calling it a matter for peace negotiations. Trump did it with the stroke of a pen. Soon after, the U.S. Embassy was moved from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem in a grand ceremony. For Netanyahu, it was a monumental victory, a dream fulfilled. For the Palestinians, it was a devastating blow. The revolutionary moves didn't stop there. The Trump administration pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal, a pact Netanyahu had fiercely opposed, even addressing the U.S. Congress to campaign against it. Then came another historic recognition: American acceptance of Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, a strategic territory captured from Syria in 1967. The personal bond was so strong, an Israeli settlement in the Golan was officially named Trump Heights. Part 3. The Abraham Accords. But the crowning achievement of the Trump-Netanyahu partnership was arguably the Abraham Accords. For decades, the consensus was land for peace, the idea that Arab nations would only normalize relations with Israel after a Palestinian state was created. Trump and Netanyahu shattered that consensus. Guided by his son-in-law Jared Kushner, the administration brokered a series of stunning deals. The United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco all agreed to normalize relations with Israel. It was a paradigm shift, a new Middle East, built on shared economic interests and a common adversary, Iran. Netanyahu's long-held theory of peace through strength had become a reality, thanks to his partner in Washington. The personal chemistry was undeniable. They constantly praised each other in public, using words like courageous, historic, and friend. Part 4. A transactional friendship. But what did each leader get out of it? For Trump, his pro-Israel policies were wildly popular with his evangelical Christian base, a critical voting bloc. It cemented his image as a president who keeps his promises, no matter how controversial. He was the ultimate deal-maker, fixing problems that others couldn't. For Netanyahu, Trump was the gift that kept on giving. He received massive political victories without offering major concessions, strengthening his image at home as a global statesman who could protect Israel's interests like no one else. It was a mutually beneficial relationship where politics and personal friendship were perfectly aligned. Part 5. The Breakup. But the unbreakable bond would eventually crack. After Donald Trump lost the 2020 election, world leaders called to congratulate President-elect Joe Biden. One of the first to do so was Benjamin Netanyahu. According to reports, Trump was furious. He saw it as the ultimate betrayal. After everything he had done for Israel, after every political gift he had given Bibi, he expected absolute loyalty. "I haven't spoken to him since. Fuck him." That blunt statement, revealed in a later interview, signaled the end of the fairy tale. The personal friendship that had driven so much policy had been shattered by the raw politics of a lost election. Part 6. The Legacy. So what is the legacy of the Trump-Netanyahu era? Supporters call it a triumph of realism. They argue the Abraham Accords created real, tangible peace and proved that old dogmas could be broken. They believe that by recognizing reality on the ground, like Jerusalem's status, the path to a more honest future was cleared. Critics, however, paint a darker picture. They argue that by completely siding with Israel, the Trump administration destroyed America's role as an honest broker and made a two-state solution with the Palestinians all but impossible. They say the era of transactional politics ignored human rights and sowed the seeds for future conflict. The story of Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu is a powerful reminder that history is often shaped not by nations, but by people. Theirs was a relationship of shared ideology, political convenience, and genuine personal chemistry, an alliance that tore up the old rulebook and redrew the map of the Middle East, leaving behind a legacy as celebrated as it is controversial.